beyond the farthest star. A war rages on.
Promise that you'll come home to us.
One last battle has begun.
What do you say we end this war?
The end of a legend is upon us. A television event for now and forever. Witness the 2-hour series finale, Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Closed captioning provided by...
Right now, Monica.
Your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
Summer-like weather blanketing the Northeast today. It's broiling hot in many areas. More on that in a minute. And the potential is also there to spring up some big storms. Watch out around New York City towards nightfall. Hello, I'm Bill Keneally, and welcome to this edition of Weather Center, sponsored by GM Bi-Power.
And I'm Mike Bono. Yes, in parts of the West, you're wishing for some of that heat. It's been very chilly and kind of damp lately. Bill takes another look at that and the steamy weather in the South. But first, we'll take a look at that Northeast heat situation. And I'm sure we're going to have more records than this. I just have a feeling it's such a hot day in the Northeast. But these are some of the major metro areas that have been getting hit. And this is, in some cases, the hottest weather in 4 years. It's been since 1995 that Portland has been up to 95 degrees. That's right. It's a hot one. And Newark 97 along with Boston. You can practically smell the scent of salt water at the airport. That's how close you are to that cold water out there in the bay. And 97, so that wind kept the sea breeze out today, did its job. Binghamton, you've had some golf ball size hail nearby with 89 degrees. Let's take a look at how folks were preparing for and dealing with some of that heat. Now around midday, not the hottest yet in New York City, but you certainly were beginning to feel it, and if you didn't have that sun sauce on the bare shoulders, you're going to get a wicked sunburn on a day like this. This fellow looks like he's feeling the heat, and this lady had the place to pause for lunch in a nice shady spot. Meanwhile, that must look good on a hot day. The fountains in Philadelphia, as temperatures soared and climbed into the 90s, there's something that'll warm you up. You could probably splash some water in your face for relief on the Schuylkill River in Philadelphia, where temperatures have soared as well. 93 degrees. New York City, downtown, Central Park, 94. I don't believe we've had a record there, but it's pretty close. The record today, 96. There's your 97 in Boston, and it's been up to 98 in Hartford in the last hour or so. Albany, last year you didn't even make it to 90. Now you and Burlington are both in the mid-90s, and a little bit of a breeze coming up the Penobscot Valley at Bangor with 87, but Portland, even closer to the ocean than Bangor, has been up to 95. Now the other factor that's really getting you is that humidity. The dew points are an absolute measurement of how much moisture there is in the air, and this is reminiscent of, say, Nassau in the Bahamas, Havana, Cuba, on an average day. Real tropical humidity coming into the Northeast, such that with temperature and humidity, the effect on your body feels like 106 right now in Boston. If you thought it felt hot, you're absolutely right, dangerously hot. 103 Washington and about 100 in New York and Philadelphia. And tomorrow, not much relief in sight. From southern New England down to Philly, Washington, and North Carolina, the Northeast corridor will be dangerously hot to be active and outdoors. So stay in the shade, drink plenty of fluids, be in the air conditioning as much as possible. Into the Midwest, we're looking at temperatures that are almost as hot. This would be a hot day in the Midwest if it weren't so unbelievably hot in the east, but still near 90 in Detroit, Chicago, Cleveland. Very, very warm. Now we have a fly in the ointment. There's a fast-moving front coming through and jet stream winds cutting through the heat wave, and that is bringing the threat of severe weather. Large hail, damaging winds possible. Dangerous lightning, even including New York, Long Island, and northern New Jersey through the early evening. The Poconos, the Catskills. On our satellite photograph, we'll notice the clouds are on the move. First of all, on that satellite picture, brilliant sun, a hot sun in much of the eastern two-thirds of the nation, but some blemishes, some thunder showers popping up right now, as we'll see in New York State. Now in Chemung County, you have a severe thunderstorm warning. On radar, we'll show you that. In Chemung County, near Binghamton, with that record high, we've had large hail. We've had it up to golf ball size hail. This one's skimming the state line, moving into northeast PA, and strong storms in Pennsylvania. Another one in Oswego County near Syracuse. Watch out, Hudson Valley. As you can see, if you put them on a line, they'll just about skirt the north side of New York City. So in the New York Metro, be on the lookout for some action during the evening. A few of them scattered near Lake Erie, and heavy storms in central Ohio, Columbus, Zanesville. Some vivid lightning, some of that breaking out east of Cincinnati into the horse country, Lexington, Kentucky. But the big problem area is where the big heat has been, and now the big thunderstorms are forming. Watch out for large hail, damaging winds, and deadly lightning. Here's Bill with more.
All right, Mike, thanks a lot. Again, we're watching the southeast as an upper low is starting to take shape in the Gulf of Mexico. This is not going to bring tropical weather, that's for sure, but we are watching the instability increasing in a broader scope now. So areas around New Orleans and Lafayette, Louisiana, and greater Houston catching rain. And my guess would be that the Texas coast in general will see a lot more rainfall tomorrow than today, as it looks like the migration of that upper low will be very slowly off to your west. We also have a lot of action today in Florida. This will tend to die down some, I think, during the day on Tuesday. But for now, we have a upper low, as mentioned. Also have another factor here, high pressure over the Atlanta metro, clockwise flow around it, pulling in that fairly tropical air now for the month of June, riding it off of that very warm Gulf Stream water. And it is packing a lot of rain. We have a lot of rain falling around Miami and Fort Lauderdale and running north up in West Palm Beach. So travelers obviously take it easy. A lot of ponding of water, maybe some small hail, a lot of vivid lightning out there. And travelers on the western side of Florida, a little better off now, but earlier you were clocked pretty good in the Fort Myers and Naples area. One more pocket of rain to worry about approaching Tallahassee. It's getting west of Lake City now, so travelers on the 10 take it easy, and likewise around Valdosta on 75. A few more storms west of Birmingham. These are heading west of all things, so watch out in Columbus and Mississippi. There's New Orleans, the action pretty much west of town, and that travels all the way into the greater Houston metropolitan area. Big storms are going now north and east of Oklahoma City, not too far north of Tulsa. Watch out Bartlesville, watch out Ponca City, and again, watch out here by Alfalfa and Woodward, Oklahoma. Storms are beginning to build. More storms in the mountain areas of Montana as well as Wyoming, and these will likely hold together. They're crossing 25 now, so Wheatland to Casper, take it easy in the Cowboy State. Then eventually they'll be building in the Black Hills area. So Mike mentioned the Northeast. I'm going to watch this area, the Dakotas, down into Nebraska, back into the Cowboy State. To the west, as our low has gone by, it's pulled down very cool air. How cold? Well, about a 27 last night at Klamath Falls, Oregon, 28 at Winnemucca, Nevada, and on the ocean front, a chilly 43 all the way down to Monterey, California. The downside to all this pattern, though, is the onshore flow, and it continues in Portland with rain, maybe a couple of renegade storms out there in the coastal range, and there's a possibility of snow above 5,000 feet in the Cascades. You want to get out of that, head south on the 5 down into California. We're looking very good in the Bay Area, albeit a chilly, windy day. And by the way, check out that snowpack in the Sierra. The low cloud cover in LA is burned off, so a nice day in the Los Angeles and San Diego metropolitan area likewise. Phoenix is quiet. You're going to be up near 100 later on today. Not a whole lot of cool air headed your way. That's going to pretty much sit up in the mountains, I think. We have this Bermuda high established running back into the southeast. It'll continue to pump the warm air, the very muggy air northward into the Great Lakes and the Ohio Valley and the Northeast. So even though we have a rough day today, we may see another rough day tomorrow in New York State and getting up into Vermont, New Hampshire, as well as in Maine. Farther west, a new front kicking up its heels in the Dakotas and Minnesota, an area that probably doesn't need a whole lot more additional rainfall. And Mike, we do need rain, and we're getting it in New York and Pennsylvania, but it will come at a price, so drive carefully out there today.
Absolutely. We'll summarize it on TravelWise next.
This program was sponsored by GM Buy Power.
Yeah, it is really hazy this morning.